So let's jump in. We have the minutes from the last meeting. I've sent those by email. Does anybody have any comments or notes on those? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve. I'm not going to review them in the interest of time.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks. Charisse motioned. Jen second.
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. I saw you come off mute. I didn't know if I missed it. So roll call, Jen,
Aye.
Charisse,
Aye.
Raphael.
Aye.
Phil, are you able to unmute or not really? Give it a second. All right. I'm an aye. And so the minutes have been approved. All right, going into policy, I wanted to just provide a little update that Jackie and I worked with the town. And Jackie, you were at more of these meetings than I was. So if I misspeak, please just jump in and interrupt me and correct me. But there's a company called Policy Mind that it kind of used us as a guinea pig to test out their product on a few policies for the town. So one of them was the trash policy, and it's basically using AI, but it's specifically geared for policy making. And so we worked with them to develop a trash policy. Well, I didn't open it up on my thing, but if you guys want, I can share the draft of it later by email. I have a printout of it. Just with the new trash contract, they thought it would be helpful to have a policy on the books that talks about things that, so basically the purpose is it helps the select board kind of have a reference point to look at, like this is what Topsfield does. It helps the staff have something to point at if a resident calls. So I'm just sharing because like I was invited to help with that, which I really was grateful for because we were able to put things like, I have the printout here. Sorry, I'm not going to waste time looking for it on my desktop. It's kind of just an update. Again, I can share it out later. It's not been approved yet. So far, it's in the hands of admin and at town hall, and they're kind of deciding what to approve. But we did get to kind of open it with like what the policy is, and then the town is committed to waste reduction and diversion strategies and other sustainability initiatives to protect the town's natural resources and public health. So I kind of feel like that was my contribution as a sustainability representative. And then it kind of just goes through what happens, and then there's an addendum that's more specific to protocols. And again, it's like after this year, if a resident calls and says, my barrel broke, give me a new one, they can point to the policy and say, as of July 1st, 2026, you're responsible for replacing your own cart. That kind of thing is written. So just a little update on that. Again, I'll share it out with you guys. I think it's okay to share it as a draft. I'll make sure it says draft since it hasn't fully been processed through the channels yet, but so that you as a committee can take a look. And then I'll let you know when it's been processed. Any questions on that?
It's taking like policies from other towns, and is that the AI component?
That is the AI component, generally speaking. I know Jackie was around when they also did like a flag one, and I forget what the other one was. But for this one, we didn't find that helpful because it's so unique.
Yeah.
And it was
Right.
trying to pull off of our website. So it was making more of a procedure document versus a policy. So
Okay.
we ended up, this one used less of the AI, the policy part, but the addendum it helped with because it was able to just pull from our website of what Topsfield does. Like every resident gets this. This is how much this costs. Like this is how you pay for it. Those things. Another AI tool probably could have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I also just made a little note for myself mostly to keep me accountable, but under policy, I wrote in my notes, like, I just want to put a reminder that we do have a hope as a committee. We've talked about a couple of times writing some kind of a letter to town businesses that relates to anything sustainability oriented. So like having to do with the plastic bag ban that people might not realize exists, lighting solutions, dealing with pest control. They might not be bylaws, but they might be recommendations. So that's just something I wanted to say out loud so that we don't forget about it. All right, moving on to grants, the next item on our agenda. So last time I think we shared that we did get a grant for actually, you know what? We have Sean here. I might jump the line and go to the speaker series just in case you need to hop off. So I'm skipping the grant. I'm going to the speaker series with the town library. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, how are you today?
We're
Hey, Sean.
good. Um, so you guys all remember Sean from when we talked about with the library. So I think it's in the agenda that we so far have. I'm just moving things over so I can see. Um, Katie Banks Hone, the monarch gardener, on March 26th at 6 p.m. Black Earth has committed to April 9th at 6 p.m. And we need to choose a date, and we kind of may have narrowed it down a bit to do one ourselves in May. And Ipswich River Watershed Association said that they could do June. Sean, what did we land on first?
I believe it was June 1st. That's what I have
Okay.
written down. Let
Okay.
me just double check that real quick.
I think you're right. Um, so I'm excited about this, but for us, I think we have to choose between the 18th or the 20th of May, after hearing back from a few people on availability. Do you guys want to weigh in on which of those dates you'd prefer to attend and be part of our, like we're kind of hosting we're the speaker.
Fiercely opening the calendar.
This is the topic is like where does your recycling go?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, I don't think I can contribute much to that except as an attendee, because I missed the thing. But
yeah. But you know
April
so much,
what?
Jen. Like you basically ran one last time with the information is very similar to what we've done in the past. It's just a different um facility. But anyway, 18th or 20th.
18th or 20th.
We're talking about
Um,
May, right?
May.
yeah, I'm gonna be probably away because it's April vacation. So,
Oh, May.
oh, May, sorry.
Just to jump in, it is definitely June 1st, and we already have everything all set and all scheduled
Yeah.
for
I'm
the
so
Ipswich
happy to
River
have you
one.
guys as
Yeah.
partners, Sean, because like as soon as something's decided, you guys basically like within a breath have it posted. So great. So the 18th is a Monday of May, the 20th is a Wednesday.
I think the 18th will be better for me, but it doesn't mean the 20th is impossible. It's just,
Mhm.
it'll involve some maneuvering.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do either.
All right.
Apparently, I can do either, but like we talked about, it's 2 weeks after town meeting, so or 3 weeks, so I have no idea when our select board meetings will be.
Oh, right, because Mondays.
We'll
And
have to reorganize the week after the elections, and then
okay.
currently we have them on Mondays, but it doesn't mean every Monday.
Okay. And you might have, could you, in your position, like, have a say as to whether you meet on the 18th if we
Yeah,
do plan on this?
yeah.
Okay. Jackie, I know you had issues with your connection. I don't know if you can unmute. All right, I'm gonna say, yeah, Jackie,
Yeah, what was the date again?
18th of May.
Um, okay, let me see. Oh, I'm on vacation that day.
Oh, the 20th as well.
Um, the 20th, I have Conservation Commission in the evening,
Okay.
but otherwise, what time would this be?
We've been doing them at 6, the others.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I can't make it, I'm sure you guys can do okay without me.
Well, why don't I do this? There were other people that, and like Phil can't unmute right now. Let me look at who was there. Like I know Charisse was there, Jackie was there on the actual tour. Phil, and then we had Sam and Kevin. So maybe I should also check with them and see if there's a better date for them. And we'll just nail down one of those two. Is that okay? Anything else,
Yep.
Sean, on the speaker series itself?
On the speaker series itself, no, everything. Once we get this down, we'll have all four, or we'll have four booked.
Yeah.
And we can, on my end, what we can do is start making posters or whatever
Yeah.
to start promoting.
Yeah.
We can, if you have like a specific logo or something, if you could email it to me for those posters, we can work on it on that end.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want to bring up is we sort of had a somewhat late breaking thing. Arbor Day celebration for downtown is May 2nd, I believe. Is that right, Silly?
The Earth Day. Yeah.
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 So we have the funding in place where one of the things that we wanted to do this year was to give away trees. And so we have 100 lilac trees that we'll be giving away. And I wanted to see if there was like, is this something that we should do for the Earth Day celebration on May 2nd? Should we plan for it to be on that same day, or do you not want it to be a something that competes or whatever with you all?
Sounds like it would complement more
Yeah,
than
that's
compete.
sort of what I was hoping.
Yeah. What do you
And
all think?
Yeah. I think that'd be
That's
great.
incredible. 100 lilac trees.
so this is Jess, our head of adult services, is working on getting that all coordinated and stuff. And yeah, we're excited about it. They're all locally grown. I believe it's through Mass Tree Wardens that we order from, or that we're going to order from.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's something that we went with 100 this year, but we wanted to kind of aim 100's the lowest that they would do, and we wanted to aim a
Mm-hmm.
little on the low side. But we wanted to try to see how this went as something this year as well.
Have you thought about
So
how you determine who gets them? First come, first served, or are you going to have any kind
it'll
of
pro- it'd probably be first come first serve type situation, but we
yeah.
have a little bit of time before we have to I guess make that call. And I'd want to talk to Jess about that.
Yeah.
She's run something similar in Chelmsford before. So she's gonna kind of know the best way to handle it, and I'm gonna defer to her on that.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask, do you know how little they are?
So if I remember correctly, when we get them, they're about like, yeah, I know it's a computer
Okay.
screen, so yay
Yeah.
size. So like 18 inches, like
Yeah. So
along.
like not like because like they get the little seeds trees from the kids get trees from the garden
Yeah.
club.
So
They're usually yeah.
I had talked with Martha about it too, to make sure that she didn't think that Martha Morrison,
Yeah. Oh, that's
to
smart.
make sure that it was something where it's just like, hey, like we're not like,
Competing.
ideally it's not just going to be fourth graders, but like a whole bunch of people that would be passionate about, and she was very enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And it's a totally different kind of tree.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody have an opposition to having them do that at Earth Day? I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say maybe we can, maybe I'd love it if people had to like play a game, or I was going to say pass a test. That sounds too rigid.
That's what I was
Like,
thinking. I was
like
thinking the
win
same
them.
thing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I was also thinking like for an entry, they'd have to like us on social media, like our Instagram, like our Facebook page, like the library's Facebook page, sign up for the library's newsletter. It could be like a mixture of tasks that benefit both of our organizations.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can as the day gets closer, we can talk about like how we want to approach that.
Yeah.
I'm always just an email or a visit to the library
Mhm.
away if you need me in
Okay.
particular. And yeah, we're excited about it. And once again, if there's anything else also that like even beyond just the speaker series that we can partner with, we're happy and willing to do so.
Um, there will be, and I don't want to spend well, um, one thing that I wanted to see if you could check with your team about, it's kind of going into under updates. I was going to share an update having talked with Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, is cleaning equipment, grabbers, reusable like work gloves, and buckets. Potentially, buckets might be too bulky. You had mentioned before in the Library of Things
Mm-hmm.
that there might be that there's a budget associated with that, I think.
Yes.
Maybe.
So we get so not to get too in the weeds, but we're are sorry, I'm in the shadows here too. We're funded by our materials budget is funded by the Gould Trust.
Yeah.
And the library things comes from one of those there's Gould A and Gould B, and it comes from Gould B. That's not really important to you all. But we have a budget over the course of the year for
Hmm.
spending stuff. And if there is something that we could like we'd be happy to, if there's something that helps
Hmm.
support
Hmm.
you guys' mission. That's sort of what we're here for. We had worked with the rec department previously and buying a bunch of pickleball equipment, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
and having it available for checkout here. Um, with around the time of the court resurfacing and that type of thing. So
Yeah.
it's something that we have done and we'll be happy to continue to work on.
All right. So before I get further, I want to talk more a little bit about that. Is there anything else about the speaker series itself that anyone has comments on, so we can check that off on the agenda? Okay. So, and thank you for sharing about the lilacs for Earth Day, which is, we can kind of knock that off the agenda too. May 2nd, Earth Day. I'm definitely going to need volunteers. And when I get into communications, we can touch more on that. But that's kind of all I have for Earth Day so far is the date and the need to get volunteers. But I'm going to go to updates because the cleanup part of Earth Day relates to what I was just touching on with Sean, and I want your all feedback on. So basically, we had bought T-shirts a few years, like 4 or 5 years ago, through the Keep Mass Beautiful site that say Keep Topsfield Beautiful, and it says like clean, green, and litter free or something like that. With Jen Forster under her leadership, which was great. So that the executive director of that, his name is Neil. A guy from G Mello wanted to introduce me to him. And so I had a Zoom meeting with him. And basically, we talked about whether Topsfield might want to become a chapter of our own, Keep Topsfield Beautiful chapter. And I'm just pulling out my notes from it. Um, because, not because, it would just help. Sorry, I'm between two notebooks, so I have to figure out if it's my old notebook or my new notebook that it's in. I think it's the old notebook. Um, I want to share a little bit about, have you guys heard about it? Keep Massachusetts Beautiful.
No.
I guess they have, and again, maybe it was the new notebook. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh, yeah, it's the new notebook. Does this happen to anyone else? Like when you're switching? Okay. Um, so they have 43 local chapters in Massachusetts, and what they basically can offer is helping with, they talked about having an e-newsletter platform, social media, of course. Um, let's see, they have like a talking trash education program and they give out money for different things. Oh, this was a big one, is they offer, if you're a chapter under them, they have liability insurance for cleanup events. It's not like volunteer insurance, like the people need their own insurance for general things, but it's liability insurance for the organizers of it. And then they also do some stuff around pollinator gardens, help with other kinds of fundraising. And a big one is they can be your fiscal sponsor if you need a place to funnel donated money through. Um, there isn't a fee involved with it. So but he was also, even with that, he was like, you guys are small and it's kind of flexible, or like you don't have to do it up front. You can pay the annual fee after you've gotten some money. I'm a little, and this is where my question to Sean came up, is we could be an official chapter, or we could do our own thing and still kind of collaborate with them on things. Um, so I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do. It's a little where I get a little confused is we are a subcommittee of the town, and
Mhm.
this starts to get into like 501c3. Um, I'm about to retake my ethics course that you have to do every couple of years when you're when you're in public service. So I have to get a refresher on this, but other people on here might have something to say. On the flip side, or regardless of all that, I was thinking about the library, because if we do want to get supplies, like I really would like to make that happen this year where we have our own supplies. Last year we borrowed from Salem. Um,
Mhm.
And then another arm of this update is that I met with a fifth grader from Proctor named Benjamin, whose mom had posted on Facebook that his goal for this year was to clean up the downtown on a regular basis, like have a cleanup team, which is adorable. And apparently they have early dismissal. I kind of missed this because my kids were already gone from the elementaries when they started having early dismissal every other Friday. So he wants to have a team of kids that clean up the downtown every other Friday. um, and that's where I thought a partnership with the library might be really great around this
So
stuff.
what exactly would we be
Yeah.
looking for, I guess?
Yeah. So mostly the first thing is like funding to buy, if we put it into the library of things, grabbers and gloves, buckets we can get for free from restaurants. And then for the big town cleanup, the whole town would borrow everything and then we would return it. But if there's a regular group that wants to do regular cleanups, they could basically check stuff out from the library and
Hmm.
return it cleaned. And this isn't something you have to answer today. It's something I wanted the group to weigh in on and to kind of, spitball around.
I'm not I'm not sure if I could make a way to make this one work, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna continue to think creatively to see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like so usually with our library things, we're buying like one or two
Right.
of something.
Right.
Um, and like would definitely be open to that. Um, but more than that might be kind of I don't know. I
And I put you
would
on the
think
spot, Sean. You don't have to even
yeah.
explain. You can say this is something we have to.
I'm just trying to be honest that I think it might run into a bit of because we have like the funding has to go to certain like can only be spent a certain way. And I know Raphael
Yep.
also is probably familiar with this as well, where
Yep.
I'm not sure that it would necessarily like if we're buying a bunch of them, it probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be the proper use of that type of funds. But
Mhm.
what we can do instead, like what I'm trying to do to not just create a problem, I guess, is we can buy like we're happy to buy a couple of like one or two of things, and
Mhm.
if you were to like start knocking on the door of like other like places in town for like that type of donation or whatever, I'd
Mhm.
be able like the library liaison to the Friends of the Topsfield Library, maybe that they would be willing to donate some like something for the like and this is not a guarantee or anything like that, but I would talk to them to see if maybe they'd be interested in
Mhm.
supporting on that end, or you know since they're a separate 501c3, I can't like say that like they would definitely do it, but I can
Mhm.
try to convince them, I suppose. And like we can kind of like think creatively that way. um so
Yeah. Yeah. And I shouldn't have, I mean, I was, like I said, I just put it out there. I'm not like, I
yeah.
didn't have an expectation because we do have other ways to go about it. But since you're here, I thought I'd explore it. You mentioned like others who could donate if, if, if there was a donor who was to provide, because I guess there's both the initial funding to get the supplies, which we could get like business sponsors to do and stuff like that as well. But then there's also the storage and distribution and returning of. And I don't want to assume that the library could has the capacity to do that. But I guess I want to just explore what the options are.
My computer just froze and I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, I signed you
I'm
up for
sorry.
all of it. You're doing everything.
Okay.
I guess I was asking if we had donors provide stuff. And don't answer this now. You should talk to your team, like unless you know the answer. Are you still frozen? Are you there? Oh, I think he's frozen. All right, let's talk about him. Sorry, this is being recorded. I really need to check my behavior. Are you back, Sean? Yeah, right. He keeps freezing. We can talk with him offline. Why don't you guys let me know what you think in general of what a good avenue is to kind of get the supplies and then, structure it so they can be borrowed and returned.
Yeah, I mean, I like this idea overall, and obviously it would be awesome however the library can support. But Zilly, what adult would be kind of chaperoning
The
this
kids.
experience? Yeah, because
Yeah,
that would
such a
maybe
good.
help us think about where we're storing and how we're accessing the
Yeah,
equipment.
so that leads me to the other part of it, the update, I guess, is that I didn't share is so Ben's mom joined, when I met with him. And her homework there slash her homework is to um talk with Proctor School and like get their advice on that. Talk with other parents because she said that right now what's happening is there are those early release days, like the free range kids, there seems to be parents that are kind of stationed from afar that are kind of keeping an eye on things, but not interfering, which is like kind of dreamy for like a downtown safe place for kids to feel independent, but not be totally unsupervised. Zoomies is in the heart of the downtown, and I could talk to Tri-Town Council. So my homework was to check in with Tri-Town Council about seeing whether there can be like a home base adult. But yeah, that was some of the homework that she and I were going to do around the kids doing the Fridays. We also talked about my homework was to talk with the Council on Aging and try to see about making an intergenerational activity. So then once you have other adults out, so this is still like I'm bringing it here right at the beginning. It's like the fledgling like idea. Um, this piece of it with the kids initiative. In general, though, either way, the idea of having like with this young man, what we talked about is having quarterly, but except for winter, Um, like town cleanups that are a little bit broader, like what we do in the spring. But then regular, like the kids who want to do it can do it downtown if they can structure the rest of it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's
Okay.
definitely that question. And the other thing is like, I mean, if a parent is allowing their kid to hang out downtown unsupervised from 12 to whenever on Fridays, how this becomes different is that they're being provided with a tool that they wouldn't necessarily have had. Like,
Right.
right? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I really like the idea of this being intergenerational as far as partnering with the COA. I think that
Hmm.
would be awesome. And I also think Tri-Town Council is another great option.
Hmm.
I was thinking that this could be something that's promoted at Earth Day, and we could have like a donation bucket with a little explanation of the program that we're trying to start. And, if people are throwing in $5 here, $5 there, well, that could be like a whole set of grabbers,
Yeah, true.
and just that could be fundraised. And then again, like as another option, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm also thinking about the Emerson Center from the Congregational Church of Topsfield and how centrally located that is and how much storage space we have there.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there were to be an adult who, like had a code for entry to the Emerson Center and could access a specific closet where everything would be stored and
Hmm.
returned,
Hmm.
that could be an option too, because maybe that's a way to partner with like their youth group who's attending
Yeah.
Proctor, and there would be kids from the church that might want to participate anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's a
just
great.
kind of thinking about all the town partners that are right there.
Yeah. Thanks for adding them to the list. Um, so what I'm hearing is maybe for this year, in that case, we could borrow from Salem again for actual Earth Day if we want to use Earth Day as a fundraiser and then buy our own versus try to get ahead of it and get, because I mean, business sponsors could maybe get some. Um, that's where then we need a fiscal sponsor. We need a fiscal agent. Like, unless they're buying it directly, we need. That's where I get a
Yeah,
little confused about like our role as a town committee and not a 501(c)(3).
right.
I have
I
to figure that
wonder if the hardware store downtown, would be just kind of like a quick and easy sponsor,
Yeah, right.
because that may be something they just have and
For the co-op.
easy for them to buy in bulk.
True.
How much are we thinking it would be? I mean, are we talking hundreds of dollars or tens of
Yeah.
dollars?
And I have to be honest, I have not priced it out. Um, I just know it was to get good ones. Yeah, like it's in the hundreds, I think. If you want to get a supply of good quality grabbers that aren't going to break or, you know, plus work gloves. Yeah. And it doesn't have, it could be less at the beginning. Another thing I talked about with the mom, that mom was like, whether kids each have their own, like they have to buy it if they want to be part of this cleanup club, or they can be gifted it, but like, or given it as a discount. But like, instead of borrowing and returning, they bring their own, you know? All right, I don't want to spend a ton more time on this. Jackie has her hand up though. Jackie?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think if it is like an organized group, like we may want to be concerned about liability a little bit with safety because there can be broken glass. I
Right.
know, like in other municipality where I worked, we made people fill out waivers to do
Hmm.
trash pickup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it's an organized group, we want to be conscious of like how
Yeah.
how much like we or whoever is like the the chaperone is responsible for the safety of the kids,
Yeah.
the kids group.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where Keep America Beautiful membership could be helpful because they have the liability insurance. And we would be under their umbrella.
Mhm.
All right. So this was sort of under updates, new ideas. I don't want to spend too much time on it because there's more homework to be done. If anyone wants to be part of like the next time I talk with this mom and kid, um, please shoot me a note because I'd love to have, not be have someone else help with that too. And we'll kind of take our step by step to get there. But I would like to have something figured out by Earth Day so that whether we're using Earth Day as the fundraiser or whether it's the kickoff because we've already gotten stuff, that can sort of be our deadline. All right, let me just glance at the agenda and the time. Make sure I get the important stuff. All right, so the two big things that I also have on my mind for this agenda, not on my mind, like they're on the agenda. One is about the grants, but also under communications, I have, actually, I didn't even put it there. Oh, mailer, separate from communications, the mailer. So they go hand in hand. So we talked about doing a mailer this year. And I'd like to get out in early March. So before our next meeting, like right now, I should be working on this mailer and designing it. And what it would include is the speaker series that we already have in place, like announcing Earth Day as an upcoming event. Some did you knows about the library having a Fix It clinic and a library of things. And then stuff I have as maybes is like coming soon, the coaching idea. Maybe we don't put that, I think, too much information, perhaps. Um, Anything about the trash contract, maybe we could just steer clear of for this particular mailer. I was debating doing like a follow-up survey to people that's not so much of a do you like it, but more of a do you think, like, what do you think could, um, I forget what I had in mind. I was thinking of things. Oh, yeah. How often did you go over what your barrels could hold? Like, how often did you end up going to the transfer station? Would you vote to pay more in taxes to have weekly recycling? Questions like that is I was thinking about. I'm not totally averse to that. I just don't know if I have time to put it together. So I want your feedback on that. But the big thing that I want to make sure I talk about today is the compost incentives with the grant we have. I'm going to dive into that, but just from the topics I mentioned so far, did those bring any thoughts to anyone? Feedback?
I feel a little bit like questionable about the questions about the trash contract
Mm-hmm.
because I think sometimes, like, it's always great to have community feedback, but when there's a formal survey of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sets something in motion where people feel like if I'm providing this feedback, this is going to have a direct impact on something.
Yeah.
And if this is not going to make any immediate changes, it could rile people up for kind of like no good reason,
Mm-hmm.
right when things have
Yeah.
settled down. So I think the question is, what is the benefit of doing it,
Right.
and does the benefit outweigh what the response could be if it's not going to be immediately helpful, if that makes sense?
It does. And then either way, my question is this the right place to share it? Because I don't want it to take away from all the good things that this mailer is offering.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of positives there, and that could overshadow those
Yeah.
things.
I'm seeing some head nods. All right, that was helpful. So I'm going to cross that off as a possible inclusion. Oh shoot, Jackie has I don't want to, I almost forgot Jackie. So I'm going to give a quick update on the grant stuff, let you guys mull it over. Jackie has a grant that she needs our approval on. Actually, let me do that first, Jackie. Sorry. I'm like saving the best for last here, but let me get you before I'll save the best. I'll put the best ahead. So I emailed you guys. Let me open it on my to share the screen. Jackie's grant application that she just needs us to review MVP letter of support that she drafted for us to look at. I don't know if you guys got to see it on your emails, but I'm going to share my screen in just a second. Too many tabs open. This is why people get multiple screens. I've never had that, but it seems like it would be amazing. Okay. So, Jackie, are you able to unmute and talk about it, or is it hard?
Yeah, it seems like my connection's working better without the video on, so
Gotcha.
I've been keeping it off. But yeah, so last year we didn't get the MVP grant that we applied for, but we got feedback that we were close and just needed to change a few little things. We're also thinking about whether or not to include more action on Pie Brook Weir in this application, but we haven't really met with everyone from the town to decide on that yet. We're going to be meeting with IRWA later this week to go over that. But for now, I thought I would just include the portion of the grant that would be similar to last year, so we at least can get a letter of support on that. Working on the culverts on East Street and Wilds Road. We are planning to combine this with a CRMA application, which is a more culvert specific grant. And I'm not sure if I'll need a letter of support on that too, but we haven't quite worked out the details yet.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
So this is saying we are actively going to be working on culverts?
So this is for the MVP plan to do design and permitting to address undersized culverts, which is helping with climate resilience because those areas have a lot of flooding and that's an increasing risk. And there would also be community outreach events to sort of provide education about that.
So we're not applying for it. We're supporting Jackie's application for it.
Right. So it's me and Ipswich River Watershed Association working on the grant application.
Okay.
But they did say last year that we should have included more letters of support. We did include Sustainability Advisory Committee last year, but said this year we should include more letters of support than just that. So
okay. What? There were not enough for them. I think it looks great. I appreciate you going back at it. I think having the last speaker on our speaker series be from IRWA might be a great lead into like a new community outreach topic for next year, perhaps, like if you get this granted. So I think I can motion to approve submitting this letter of support as shared. Very formal.
I'll second.
Okay.
Raphael second. Okay, so roll call vote for that. Charisse,
Aye.
Raphael,
Aye.
Jen,
Aye.
I'm an aye. So thanks, Jackie, for that.
When is this due?
it's due, I think, March 20th. So I didn't know if we would have another meeting in time for that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if there would be a library presentation before then where we could possibly draft a letter and ask people to sign if they were attending, so it would be like community support kind of.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
the first one is the 26th. But you might still be able to see if there's something else happening that you could do it at earlier in March.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
an idea.
not sure if there's something we could do online for online signatures, but we could always share online as well. If you knew that there was some format where, it would be correct and kind of like appropriate to gather signatures in that way, like we could share anything. So if you come up with anything, let me know and we could do that online.
Okay, yeah, I like that idea. I'll ask Neil from Irwa and see if, because he's done a lot of these applications in different towns and he might have experience with something like that.
Okay,
So
See what
do
he
you
thinks.
have the Hoods Pond Beach Association and Friends of Hoods Pond on your list of they could be potential support
Oh yeah,
letters?
that's a good idea too. Thanks.
Yeah, because I just know, especially Friends of Hoods Pond has done a lot of work related to culverts that impact the pond. Oh, I don't know if they've done a lot, but I know there has been some.
Great. Yeah, I'll look into that too. Thanks.
Yay. All right, so now the compost grant. And I might actually, I'm very visual, so I'm going to share my screen in case you guys are too. This is my personal notes about this topic on our agenda. So basically, as you guys know, we got the grant from Mass DEP, which offers, if I understood it correctly, $25 per cart. So it's not like any cart at any price, but for curbside compost carts. We have already been offering free carts to anyone who signs up for curbside compost using our RDP grant money, which is something we earn annually by doing what we do. So we have to kind of keep doing it to keep getting that money. And every year they kind of try to push you to the next thing. So that's where RDP grants is where like anything that's come up over recent years started, such as textile recycling incentives eventually became the rule. Composting for, forgive me guys, I'm so spacey today, but just like, you know how now there's, what's the word for like commercial businesses that produce more than a ton of compost of organic waste are required to compost it. Recycling even like started with the RDP grants. So this is sort of like another bonus point for us because we can keep doing what we're doing, but instead of just paying all of it out of the RDP money, $25 per cart will come from this grant. Now, a couple of things that are added is we have to put stickers on the carts now that say Mass DEP on them. And I've talked to Black Earth. The person that distributes those for Topsfield residents is willing to add the sticker on if we give them the stickers. So that's great. What I'm thinking about is whether we should ask about right now their starter kit at Black Earth is $40, 39 something per cart. I would like to see if we can get that down. Not they won't negotiate the price for the cart down, but right now they provide a bunch of free liners and stuff. So those are like that's like small change, but what I really want to do is I'm going to meet with Kevin and the finance team next Tuesday morning. And I'm going to want to propose, with your guys' support of the idea, some kind of a rebate concept, something where we can use we have a good chunk of change in the RDP account right now. It's over $30,000 in there. And this is what it's for. Like we're supposed to be using, that's the money we're going to use to post the mailer that we want to send out. That's currently the money we've been using for the curbside bins. So a rebate idea. Raphael might have a better sense than any of us of like how that might be able to work, like what to best propose. But I wanted to kind of bring that here and see if you guys support that idea, what your thoughts are, because we can't pay for their curbside compost. Like the town can't pay for an individual's private contract with Black Earth to have curbside composting, but we can offer other incentives. And this is a big one that I'd love to put some of our RDP money toward this year to get to our goal. Like we need to sign up 150 more people not quite, like 140 something more people in Topsfield for the price to drop to become less than a second trash cart. That's my goal.
It's also tricky. I know the select board doesn't love the idea of writing checks
Right.
to individuals. So I
Could,
don't know how we would implement
yeah.
that.
This is where we have to ask them if there's another avenue. Like, could they get
Right.
a certain dollar amount off of their water bill? That's what other towns have done.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
And we can't, not on behalf of an individual, but we can't make a payment to Black Earth to service Topsfield.
I believe we can't because of procurement laws. That's my best understanding. And again, I'm meeting in, if one of you wants to join me next Tuesday morning at 9 or 9:30 with Kevin and like the finance team of town hall to kind of encourage them. But what I really would like is to have your full support behind like pushing for this. Because our RDP account right now is I just got the number this morning and I'm almost worried, scared to say it in a public session, but it's like over 35,000. I think it's 38. It's a good amount of money. And this is what it's for. Like we were
Right.
holding it to use it for these kinds of things. So if it means if we can do the math and use it to help people cross that first threshold of trying it, um, I feel I want to see if you guys agree that that would be a good use of that money.
Yeah.
I got one. Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay.
I don't know about the logistics with the rebate, like how that gets done, but yeah, I love the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jen, I can't see you. What do you think?
I mean, so I'm just trying to think a little bit outside the box. Like the problem, I of course want more people to compost. I think that where like town government and I kind of get a little hung up is the fact that like Black Earth is the only like show in town and it's a subscription. So like there's I guess like people could probably get around buying like the one it helps to have the bins paid for, but really it's like the ongoing subscription
Yeah.
that I think can be a hang up for people moving in that direction. And so I was just thinking, I wonder if there's a way to use the RDP funds to encourage black backyard composting. I know that we're trying to
Mm.
get to a certain number of households in town to drop the price, but again, it's in support of composting, which again, yay, but also it's Black Earth's bottom line. And so if like the end goal really should be like increasing composting and reducing the amount of waste in our trash, like our
Yeah.
tonnage and things going into landfills. So like is there a way to kind of use some of these funds for like purchase of backyard composters as well? Um,
Yep. I
so
hear you
I'm wondering if we
100%.
can think about that a bit.
Yeah. I would love to. The one catch here is that the whole Mass DEP's grant is specific to curbside bins. And
It
that's
is.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like that's
Sorry.
the grant that we received is very specific. I even asked if we could use it for countertop cart bins, like as again as a like bonus incentive, you know? And they said no. It's only
But
for
RDP isn't, right?
RDP we can use for anything we want, um, as long as it's anything related to reducing waste or sustainability related
Yeah.
stuff.
So I mean, on the grant stuff, fine, keep it to curbside, but I'm wondering because you mentioned that we have so much in our RDP
Yeah.
balance right now that maybe we could hit it from both sides.
I have two thoughts. I think Jen's point is really important as far as like the ongoing subscription being what's holding people back. So what if we asked Black Earth, like as part of this promotion, to do like a trial period to see if that could get more people signed up. Like, would people sign up if they were only committing to something like 3 months or 6 months, and then like their contract would end at that time? You know, like people like knowing that there is an end, right? And people like trying things before they buy or commit long term. So I wonder if they could work with us in that way. And then,
Isn't it sort of, I hear what you're saying. I just want to say, like, I think that's what the free cart is doing because their subscription model is on a 6 month basis. So you
okay,
could hypothetically try it. You could even try it every other week for 6 months
so
and
maybe
then
that's
stop.
like the marketing that we're missing,
Mm,
because even though
hmm
I've been a Black Earth customer forever, that like I didn't even realize that, you
hmm
know? So maybe it's promoting it as like a short term opportunity
mm,
with a
hmm
free bin. Um, and maybe that's how it
Yeah.
translates to people. That was my one thought. And then my other thought, which I feel like has come up before, is just like
Yes.
how do we count all of the bins that we're using in the Topsfield schools towards this goal?
Yeah.
Because that would bring up our number by a
Yeah.
decent amount. I mean, I know it couldn't be for all 6 schools because that's 3 towns,
hmm
but it's still 2 schools that have multiple
Yeah.
bins every single week. And
Yeah. What are
I,
we doing right now? What's getting put out weekly?
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
I don't know the latest, but there's
They're the larger sized bins, right?
yeah, they're the full size bins, and there are at least a couple because they get kind of traded out, you know. So, and also like whatever that email trail was that we were on, and I think we never received a response from Steve Clifford.
hmm
Um, but I don't think that we have a contract right now for the
mm
schools. So that
hmm
means like there's still a way that things could be changed or negotiated for the next school year. So could these bins count towards Topsfield's count,
Yeah.
um, and help in some way?
hmm Okay. And you have brought that up before, and I think I didn't quite use it that way. I did try to, when I tried to negotiate our total number, I did bring that up and they didn't respond positively. I mean, they didn't like go for it. Um, but that is a good reminder.
Yeah, and if they're going by gallons, and not bins, just because they are using the full size bins, like that's a lot of gallons.
hmm All right. So for now, in the interest of time, like for my meeting with Kevin next Tuesday, largely because also like, do I have your approval to work with what the town is willing to coordinate with us on, get that whatever form of for now, like the rebate thing, um, posted so that I can promote it on the mailer because I have to get that done. Do I have your authorization to go forward with whatever the town is willing to do on that?
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
yes from Sharice
Yeah.
Raphael. All right. I think I got all yeses. Is there any no's? Did Jen have to hop off? It looks like. Yeah, she said she had a hard stop at 1. Sorry, guys. Okay. And I'm taking the feedback that everyone just shared. I hear what Jen said about like the backyard. I just don't want to compete with this one because this grant is limited. The $25 a cart grant is time limited. So I almost feel like let's focus here and then we can bring in the backyard as another push. And there are a lot of like specific ones. So another idea I had was like a thank you for composting card when we do the mailer. Maybe we do a smaller one using Black Earth's listserv and send something just not just email, like an actual card to people that are already composting and reminding them of all the incentives they have. Because they have this whole, like, if they get a group of 10 or more to sign up, they get something.
Zilly, can you email me just like copy and paste those points to me because we can also
It's time sensitive for that meeting with Kevin and his team next week and getting a mailer out. And Charisse, I'll also, since you're the communications guru, maybe work with you on the mailer itself.
yeah,
Since we
sure.
kind of already have people's authorization on that. It's annoying. This is where it's hard to have a public meeting. If we do feel like we need this committee to approve it, I might call like a very short meeting before the mailer goes out to just get everyone to green light it. But that's only if there's anything that we haven't already discussed being put on it. I think most everything else I covered today. So, all right, people are hopping off. I was so proud of myself this year. I've been so good at ending at 1 o'clock, but we're a few minutes behind today. If there's seeing no other comments and no objection, I'm adjourning us at 1:05 p.m.